Welcome, dear listener, to the Secrets for a Happy Life podcast. Born from my desire to share the knowledge I've acquired on leading a better life, interwoven with diverse experiences from my travels, years of studying psychology, and life lessons. I'm Petra, your guide on this journey on rediscovering joy, productivity, and the essence of living a fulfilled life. Today, I want to share with you one extremely good exercise that you can use when you are feeling guilt that is not relevant. And first, let's go one step back and just see what I'm going to talk about today. When we are dealing with another person's requests, when we are emotionally blackmailed, then we usually feel fear, obligation, and guilt. So in short terms, it's FOC, fear, obligation, and guilt. And this guilt usually traps us into doing something that other people want, but we don't feel like it. We don't feel like we have energy, we have the resources, we don't have that what they want from us. Or we think it's not good if we do that what they want from us. It's not aligned with our values or with our philosophy of life, with our way of thinking. Let's say, for an example, because this emotional blackmailing is usually occurring among people that are really close to each other. So among family members, partners, spouses, really good friends, and also in the office environments. So let's say that you have a mother that is really pushing your buttons and she asks you to go with her maybe to a dinner. So it's really simple thing. It's okay, your mom calls you and she says, okay, I want you to go with me for a dinner. And she sets the date and the hour. But you have on that date something else. You have a meeting with one friend that you haven't seen for a long, long, long time. And everything would be okay if you could talk normally with your mom and explain that to her that you are already unavailable on that time and maybe reschedule to the next day. But your mom is so egocentric and she wants you to be there exactly on, let's say, on Wednesday. And then she starts. If you would be like this, you would do that. If you would be a better daughter, you would take care for my feelings and you would be there for me. But now you are just avoiding having dinner with me and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And this makes you feel really guilty because all these triggers, all these hot buttons that we have, you have to remember that our parents installed those hot buttons into our soul. They really imprinted them there. And when they start pushing on those hot buttons, you really feel that fog, fear, obligation, or guilt. You can feel all three of them, one or two. Mostly with parents, we feel obligation and we feel guilt. Okay? Or sometimes fear if they are threatening us with they will stop giving us money if we don't fulfill their wishes. So what can you do? You know that this guilt that you feel, okay, I'm gonna let down my mom, she's gonna feel sad, she's gonna be unhappy, whatever you think she's gonna feel. You have to know that this guilt that you're feeling, it's not valid. You don't have to feel guilty for that because you have completely all the good intentions to do this dinner with your mom the next day. But she's making you feel guilty. She's making you feel not the good daughter, not the best daughter. And that's why you're thinking about maybe rescheduling that friend for another day just to keep your mom happy. But if you're still doing that, you are teaching also your parents or the people around you that they can push you with these guilt traps. And now I want to give you one really good exercise that you can use whenever you feel guilty. You know that this is not right, that they shouldn't be doing this kind of request, and that you feel better about it next time. So the exercise I'm going to tell you about has a really deep, unconscious, symbolic meaning to it. And it's like a ritual that you can use, and you can take whatever shape or form you want. I have this one. You can call it guilt box, or you can put some other name on it. Yeah, my mom makes me guilty or something else. This could be like shoebox, a box from, I don't know, your perfume that you bought or whatever it is. So the point is that you open it, you feel, you take a note, a piece of paper, and you just write everything, why you are feeling guilt about something, and you just jot down the guilt-inducing statements that somebody else is using to pressure you, and that you know that they are unfair and manipulative. So write each one down on a separate piece of paper and put it in the box. Okay, just put it in. And then after a week, you can burn it, you can flash it in a toilet, you can just put it in the bin box, whatever you want to do with it. But it is important that this ritual that you write down, like, I feel guilty because I cannot join her on that day, but I know she would be totally happy if she would go alone, or that it would be totally okay if we would do that another day. And just write it down. Write everything what occurs in you, what you feel you have to write, just write it down. And you can also put a label on this guilt box, return to sender, and that everything they are using, all the words, all the facial expressions, all the body language that they use, that you feel guilty, write it down, put them in your box, and then just do something with it in the end of the week. You can do whatever you want then with your box. You can bury it in the backyard. You can put it on the street and run over with your car. You can burn it. You can throw it in the dumpster, whatever you want to do with it. It's just important that all these feelings that somebody is installing in you, that you start to recognize that you've been triggered to do something that you don't want to do. And all the things that somebody is making you do, making you feel, write them down. You can write in their sentence, if you're not going to do that, you're not a daughter to me. If you're not going to do that, I know you don't love me. If you're not going to do that, I know you don't care about your mother. And you never cared about me at all. You're such a bad daughter. Okay? So these are some examples. And I have to say, my mom is great, so I don't have to deal with her, but I have many clients that they have to deal with their parents, and that they are really pushing their buttons with all this fear, obligation, and guilt. And this is something that helps. It's really something that helps. And you can use this guilt box for whatever. If you have a really tough boss in your job, or maybe your spouse is pushing your triggers, your buttons. You don't agree with him or her on something, and then they start or to sulk or to yell or to threaten you with something, or just to get what they want with emotional blackmailing. You can use this guilt box. And it's really important that you are really clear with what you want. Because it's totally okay if you're happy with doing something for somebody else. It's okay. We live in a community and we have to be there for each other. That is a community. That are good friends. That are good wives and husbands and kids and parents. But if we are not aligned with it, if it feels pressured, if it feels like you have to do, you must do, and you don't want to do it, then this is emotional blackmailing. But if you are really happy with it, you are excited about doing something, then it's okay. Then you don't feel guilty about it. Okay? So for the next time, just make some guilt box if you are feeling this kind of pressures from outside and start doing it. Okay? Thank you for joining me today and wanting to improve your life. I am Petra Kmetets-Bitens, and you've been listening to the Secrets for Happy Life podcast. Until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and remember, by being happier and more fulfilled, you make others happy too. Bye!